I'm going to show you how to make a couple different fishing rigs with just your main line coming out of your rod and reel, a hook, and a weight. And I'm going to do all that with one fishing knot. Now, just for a reference, this is a fluke rig. You know, this costs $5 or $6 in the bait and tackle store. When you pull this rig out of the plastic, that's what it looks like. When you're fishing a bottom, you're usually fishing structure. Or at least you should be. That's where the fish are, on a structure. So this is going to get snagged the first time you cast it out or drop it down. So we're doing all these fishing rigs with one simple knot. So the first fishing rig that we're making is a basic drop shot rig. And if you notice, I'm the no swivel guy. I tie these rigs right on the end of my main line. I don't have no swivel. Never used one, never had a problem. So at the bottom of the fishing line, I'm going to make my first surgeon's loop knot. Cut the tag off. We got a surgeon's loop knot there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the weight on that surgeon's loop knot. And what I'm doing is putting that loop through the eye of the weight, putting it over the weight, and then just pulling up. And that's going to hold the weight. And you can remove this weight if you get it caught in a fishing net or something like that. You just slide this off. Comes right off. If the current is strong and you want to add more weight or less weight, comes right off and right on. So once again, the drop shot rig. So we got the weight on the bottom. I want to come up about 12 inches. Anywhere from 12 to 18 inches is fine. I'm going to pull that line out and make a loop. And I'm just going to make a double overhand knot. Go through once. Go through twice. So now on that loop, we're going to put the hook. So I'm getting that loop and I'm putting it through the eye of the fishing hook. Put the fishing line through the eye of the hook. Bring the loop over the fishing hook. And there you got a basic drop shot rig. Put a minnow on there, you're ready to catch some big flounder, weakies, sea bass. And once again, I got no swivel here. Now from this drop shot rig, we're going to make a high-low rig. So we already have the weight on and the hook on, both with surgeon loop knots. Now we're going to come up from this hook, maybe 12 inches. And we're going to make another surgeon's loop knot. Fold the line over. Make a double overhand knot. It's the easiest fishing knot to make. Wet your fishing line. Pull that out. Okay, you got another surgeon's loop knot. Get another fishing hook. And the fishing hooks I use all year are 2-aught offset J hooks. They basically catch everything. It's a good standard. I mean, if you're tuna fishing or shark fishing, you need something bigger. But believe it or not, 2 summers ago, I caught a 6-foot brown shark with this 2/0 offset J hook.
Oh my God!
Once again, I'm going to take the top surgeon's loop knot that I just made, and I'm going to put that loop through the eye of the fishing hook, just like that. Going to bring the loop over the hook and pull it back. So there you have a high-low rig. You got your weight and 2 hooks. And if you want to get crazy, you can just keep putting hooks. If you kept putting hooks up here, it'd be like a sabiki rig. A sabiki rig is used to catch bait fish mainly. It's got little hooks. Usually has 6 to 8 hooks. But that's your high-low rig. Now we're going to show you a basic fluke rig with a jig on the bottom. So I'm going to cut that rig off. Pull my main line out from my rod and reel. Do my surgeon's loop knot once again. Easiest knot to do in the world. Go through there once. Go through there twice. Wet your line. I'm going to cut my tag, but I'm always leaving about a 1/4 inch of fishing line out past the knot. In case that tightens up a little bit, that knot will unravel. Okay? So what I got here is a simple fluke jig. Or a flounder jig. So I'm going to get the surgeon's loop knot. Put that loop through the eye of the jig. Now I'm going to bring this loop over the hook. And I'm going to tighten that up. Put a minnow on that hook. Drop this down to the bottom and tap the bottom like this. And what you're doing is jigging it. You take this fluke jig off of here and put a bottom sweeper jig, then you're catching blackfish. Only thing is, instead of minnows, you're using green crabs or sand fleas. So that's your basic fluke rig. Now we're going to put a teaser hook on this fluke rig. So I'm going to come up 12 inches. Make another surgeon's loop knot. Go through that loop once. Go through again. Wet your fishing line. Pull it tight. Once again, I'm getting my 2/0 offset J hook. And I like to buy Eagle Claw. Whatever works for you is fine. But it's a good product. Once again, I'm putting a teaser hook on my fluke rig. I'm going to put that loop through the eye of the fishing hook. Like that. And bring the loop over the fishing hook. Okay, so at the bottom you got a fluke jig. And you got a teaser hook. Put a minnow on both and you'll catch a lot of fish. You could double up and catch 2 fish at one time. You will catch fish on the top teaser hook 50% of the time. Next we're going to make a catfish rig. Once again, you're pulling your main line out from your rod and reel. No swivel. So for the catfish rig, on the bottom we're going to do a surgeon's loop knot. You know the drill. Cut your tag. On that bottom surgeon's loop knot, you're going to put a circle hook. Put the loop knot through the eye of the fishing hook. Go over the hook. Okay, so at the bottom you got a circle hook. You're going to come up 12 to 18 inches. And yes, you guessed it, we're going to do another surgeon's loop knot. On that top surgeon's loop knot, I'm going to put a coin sinker. Coin sinker is flat. When you cast it out, it'll stick in the mud. I'm going to put the loop through the eye of the sinker. Put it over the sinker. And there you got it. So that's your catfish rig. Put a piece of liver on the hook, on the circle hook. You're going to cast this out. That sinker's going to sit in the mud. And this hook with the bait is going to dance around from the current. And you're going to catch a big catfish. Next, we're going to make a live bait rig. Once again, pull your main line out. You don't need a swivel. It's 1000% proven that a swivel does nothing. Or it doesn't do anything for me anyway. And you guessed it, we're going to do a surgeon's loop knot. Go through there twice, wet your line, dress your knot. And dressing your knot, you're just making sure it's tight, taking a good look at it. Going to cut the tag, going to leave a 1/4 inch. Now this is a live bait rig. You could use whatever size hook you want. Once again, I usually use a 2/0 offset J hook. Going to put my loop through my hook, come over. So what I'm doing with my live bait rig is I'm simply putting a piece of live bait on it. Maybe a minnow, maybe a mullet, maybe a peanut bunker. I'm just hooking that live bait on a hook. I don't have any weight. The weight of the fish will help you cast out into the water. So when you cast this out, this fish, if you hooked them right and didn't unalive them, will just swim around. And a big fish will come up and eat the bait fish. That's a live bait rig. You could also put chunk bait on here. Just cast it out. It'll dance around in the current. See what happens. If this video was helpful, please drop a comment below and let me know. We appreciate your support.
There we go. Oh, not on a pole.